of your families going there? How many of your families going there? And you know what? We really don't care. The Bible says hell's getting bigger to hold all the people that are coming. And do we care? Oh God. Oh God. It was the mercy of Jesus that He took me out of there. It was His kindness. It was His gentleness. And it was just like when He saved me. It was just like when He saved me. But you know what? I didn't know that. I didn't know that the day that Jesus saved me, that's what He saved me from. I didn't know that. I didn't know that in that day. When I was celebrating, oh, I'm free, I had no idea everything that He saved me from.
안녕하세요. 주님 이야기입니다. 오늘은 좀 다른 영상을 준비했는데요. 작년 6월에 이스라엘에 방문했을 때 만나게 된 로리 디토라는 분의 간증입니다. 지옥을 다녀오신 간증이에요. 네, 압니다. 왠지 지옥 간증하면 듣기 싫으신 분들도 계실 텐데요. 저도 그런 사람 중 하나였어요. 이분을 만나기 전까지 말이죠. 많은 지옥 간증을 들어보진 않았지만 왠지 지옥 간증이라고 하면 거부감이 바로 들었었는데 이분 로리를 만나고 완전히 그 생각이 바뀌었습니다. 간증도 간증이지만 이 내용들이 너무나 사실적이고 꼭 모든 사람들이 한 번쯤 들어볼 만한 내용이기에 로리 씨에게 부탁하여 허락을 받아서 영상을 올립니다. 이 영상을 보며 떠오르는 분들이 몇 분이 있었어요. 판단하려고 했던 건 아니지만 그들이 정말 구원을 받았을까? 우리의 시민권은 하늘나라에 있다고 말씀하셨는데 그러나 우리의 시민권은 하늘에 있는지라 거기로부터 구원하는 자 곧 예수 그리스도를 기다리노니. 사도 바울은 우리의 시민권이 하늘에 있다고 얘기하며 우리가 예수님을 기다려야 한다고 말씀하고 계세요. 대다수의 분들이 예수님을 믿는다고 말하지만 이 땅만 바라보며 살아갑니다. 매일마다 부동산 뉴스를 보고 세상 사람들과 똑같이 말하고 먹고 똑같이 행동하고 똑같이 생각합니다. 세상의 소리에 완전히 매여 하나님의 음성은 멀어진 지 오래죠. 제가 좋아하는 찬양 중에 미랄이란 찬양이 있습니다. 이 영상을 보고 만드는데 그 찬양이 갑자기 생각이 났는데 가사를 한번 보면 세상을 구원하기 위해 흘려야 할 피가 필요하다면 죄인을 대신하기 위해 희생의 제물 필요하시다면 내 생명 제단 위에 드리니 주 영광 위에 사용하소서. 생명이 또 다른 생명 낳고 주님 볼 수 있다면 나의 삶과 죽음도 아낌없이 드리리. 죽어야 다시 사는 주의 말씀 믿으며 한 알의 미랄되어 썩어지리니 예수님처럼 살아가게 하소서. 지금은 인류의 마지막 중에 마지막 때입니다. 주님을 만날 준비가 되셨나요? 이 미랄의 가사처럼 우리가 죽어야 하늘의 미랄이 썩어져야 우리 주의 영혼들이 주님께 구원을 받습니다. 우리는 이미 예수님과 함께 십자가에서 함께 죽은 자들이지요. 여러분이 아직도 죽지 않았다면 아직도 내 자아가 불쑥불쑥 일어나고 내 마음 하나 지키지 못하고 하루하루 살아간다면 본인이 정말로 예수님을 만나고 구원을 받았는지 한번 돌아볼 필요가 있습니다. 많은 분들이 저에게 댓글로 하나님께 돌아가기 너무나 힘들다고 하신 분들이 계시던데 꼭 이 간증을 보시고 끝까지 보시고 죄에서 자유하게 되어 내게 주어진 사명들을 다시 감당하며 하나님의 귀한 자녀로 회복되시기를 소망하며 영상을 올립니다.
I want to read first from Matthew 10 verse 28. It's Jesus talking. And he says, "Do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. But rather, fear him who is able to destroy both soul and body in hell." He is telling us, don't fear man, but fear God. I want to read Matthew 18, the parable of the unforgiving servant. Matthew 18:21. And Peter came to Jesus. Peter came to him and said, "Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? Up to 7 times?" And Jesus said to him, "I do not say to you up to 7 times, but up to 70 times 7. Therefore, the kingdom of heaven is like a certain king who wanted to settle accounts with his servants. And when he had begun to settle accounts, one was brought to him who owed him 10,000 talents. Let's say $1 billion. But as he was not able to pay his master commanded that he be sold with his wife and children and all that he had, and that payment be made. The servant therefore fell down before him, saying, Master, have patience with me, and I will pay you all. And then the master of the servant was moved with compassion, released him, and forgave him the debt. But that servant went out and found one of his fellow servants who owed him 100 denarii, $10. And he laid hands on him and he took him by the throat, saying, Pay me what you owe me. So his fellow servant fell down at his feet and begged him, saying, Have patience with me, and I will pay you all. And he would not, but went and threw him into prison till he should pay the debt. So when his fellow servants saw what had been done, they were very grieved, and they came and told their master all that had been done. Then the master, after he'd called him, said to him, You wicked servant, I forgave you all that debt because you begged me. Should you not also have had compassion on your fellow servant, just as I had pity on you? And his master was angry and delivered him to the torturers until he should pay all that was due to him. So my heavenly Father also will do to you, if each of you from his heart does not forgive his brother his trespasses. Believe Jesus. The first scripture that I read says, Don't fear man. This is difficult for me to look in so many people's faces, so I'm not looking down because I'm afraid to make eye contact because I think I'm telling a lie. I want to say everything that Jesus has asked me to say. And I don't want to get stopped because I'm looking at some unbelief. So if I look down, I want to tell you, it's okay if you don't believe me. It's okay if you say because I look down that you think I'm a liar. But you should believe what Jesus wrote. It was 8/28/08. In a vision, Jesus took me to hell. If in my life, it's sort of like an accident happened. You know how like when an accident happens, you keep playing over in your mind, what could I have done different? What could I have done different? And since that time, I have replayed the days before. Oh, God, what did I do wrong? How come this happened? How come this happened? And so I know too many little details. That day, we were in an evangelism meeting. We hold a meeting every Thursday. And I was in that meeting, and I was trying to get ready for the meeting, and I knew the presence of God was there. I knew it. And I had forgotten a CD for the recording, so I ran back to my office. But I knew that Jesus was in the room, that something very, very powerful was going to happen. And I was so excited to get back. Whenever that happens, I try and tell people around me, can you feel that? Can you feel the presence of God? And I was thinking something fantastic was going to happen. We're in a prayer community, and I want to see God stretch out his arms and signs and wonders take place. I believe the Bible's true. I believe blind eyes should see. I believe deaf ears should hear. I believe the dead should be raised. I believe that Jesus says what he means, that we're supposed to do the things he did, even greater things than these. And I was so excited that God is in the room. And I knew God was in the room, and I was so excited. What did he have for me? The front of the room opened up. There's no other way to explain it. The front of the room opened up. I looked with my eyes wide open, and I saw hell. I saw it. I was shocked that it was there. All the people were still in the room, but at the front of the room, there was hell. And it was as if an arm that didn't have fingers, but it was as if an arm grabbed me and sucked me right into hell, and the door shut. I want to give you guys the problem that I face. Trying to explain hell. There's no words for this place because it's a place without God. The analogy I want to give you is if I hold up a glass of water and I say, see this? This is like the ocean. You would say that's nothing like the ocean. That water isn't even like the ocean water. And so that's the problem that I have, to try and explain what is hell like with earth words that are wrapped in the midst of grace and mercy and love. How do you explain that place, hell? And so it's way worse than any words I can come up with. But when I got there, I knew three things immediately. I knew where I was, I knew why I was there, and I knew how long I was going to be there. I was in hell for unforgiveness, and it was eternal. In hell for unforgiveness, and it's eternal. And the first thing that hit me is major, major regret. Oh God. And you don't get a do-over. You don't get to do it again. This is where I was, and this is where I was going to be, and it was always going to be like this. And it was so dark. Darkness is not like what we have outside at nighttime. Darkness is alive. And it just keeps getting more and more fear. God did not give us a spirit of fear. And this place of darkness is filled with fear. And that's the first thing that starts to grip you. Along with this, oh my God, I'm in hell for unforgiveness. And it's eternal, wrapped in fear. And the fear keeps growing. And it took me just a few minutes to realize that my eyes were open. My eyes were open, and I was frantically trying to find something that wasn't black. Everything was black, and there were layers of black, and more black, and more black, because there is no light in hell. Jesus is light, and he's not there. And I was alone in all this darkness, in all this fear, and it just had me. And it was going to be eternal. And then the time started moving, and I started realizing I hate where I am. And hate became everything. It became fueled. More hate. And time started ticking. And I understood that I wish it was a minute ago. I wish it was a second ago. This place is without God. This place is without God. I'm sure Jesus was crying that I was in hell. I'm sure Jesus was crying. But that was where I chose to go. I was suspended in this flame shaped like a teardrop over something that was bubbling. It was black and it was bubbling, and it was as far as I could see, this bubbling something. And I was higher than many. So I wasn't down closer to that bubbling heat. But the heat that was in hell, it was unbearable heat. And there's not one drink of water. And the minute that I started realizing, I wish I had a drink of water, that's when I realized there was no more water in my body. You can't have water in hell because water is a source of life, and there is no life there. There's only death. There's only fear. And my body started contorting out of pain in this flame. Unbelievable pain. My bones were grinding against my bones, and I watched my body, whatever was in my bones, the yellow stuff that was in my bones turned to black. The yellow stuff that's in your bones gives you life. Nothing of life is allowed in hell because God is not there. And I knew I chose this. Oh, God. I was stuck in this flame. It was such a terrible thing. You're never going to get out of it. So the flame I tried to curl up because the center of me hurt so much. I tried to protect the center of me. And as I curled up, this teardropped flame just would hit me in different places to cause my body to snap out of this tuck up, because there is no form of relief in hell. This place is designed to torture you. So you cannot close your eyes. You cannot go to sleep. You cannot find any rest. And it made my body twist in every kind of... your body should not twist like that. It shouldn't twist like that. Oh. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. It was so hot. I looked over, I saw other flames with other people being tortured by those flames. You're never going to get to them. They're never going to get to you. You have been cast away from God. Alone. Oh God. And all the time you just keep regretting, I wish it was a minute ago. I wish it was a minute ago. And the reality, you are in hell for unforgiveness eternally. It was so hot. It was so hot. I tried to breathe. You can't breathe in hell. You make these terrible noises to try and breathe, and whatever is there hurts so much that when you take it in, it just brings more death, more fear. And you know it. You know the first gulp that you take there, that this is very bad. And in your panic, all you can do is try and take a deeper breath of something that is designed to bring more pain, more fear, more torture. And the air there hurts. And so you try to only take as much as you need. And there's never any relief. You try and breathe through your nose. Oh, the stench makes you instantly sick. I was so sick. I had such a headache. I just wanted to lay down. I wanted to remember the times when Mike would bring me, he would come in and say, do you want a cold rag? He'd get me medicine. He'd give me something to drink. I just wanted somebody to come and take care of me. I was so sick. Worst flu you've ever had. And this constant nausea of pain just keeps eating up the insides of your body, causing more and more fear, and you just get sicker and sicker. And as you breathe in this air, your body starts to change. You see, you can't keep this image in hell. This is the image of God. And it's in hell, you begin losing this body. And I was in constant agony, constant pain. And it was never going to stop. Never. It was never going to stop. And as soon as it was like I got caught up to the rest of the group, as soon as the union worker had arrived, there was this knowing. The only way that I can explain it, this is that ocean problem with the glass of water. I knew it was about to get really, really bad. All of that was just acclimating me. All of that was just getting me ready. Oh, God. The first thing that I remember hearing that was brought to me, you are not kind. Oh, God. You would think, you guys, because I've been to hell, I would be the kindest person. You were not kind. You can't go to hell because you're unkind, but when you are in hell, you get all that you've reaped from being unkind. And the first thing that was brought to me was all the unkind things that other people did to me. Why hadn't I forgiven those people? Why hadn't I forgiven those people? None of that stuff could have come back to me if I'd just forgiven those people. And then I had to process all the unkind things I had done. And as these sins came back into me, quickly my body began becoming this grotesque, terrible looking item. Just this terrible looking item. All the unkind things that I've done. And they outnumbered the unkind things that I had done, way outnumbered. They way outnumbered the things that were done to me. The next thing that come to me, you're not gentle. You're not gentle. And all the things, all the unkind, all ungentle, grabbing you, hurting you, pushing you, not saying gentle words. All those things, all those people had done to me. All those people had done to me. Why hadn't I forgiven them? And all that sin, it was right there waiting for me, and it was mine, and it was going to have me, and all the fear. And then came all the ungentle things that I've done. All the times I was in a hurry when I washed my little girls in the bath. I wasn't gentle. I wasn't gentle when I put them in the car seats. I wasn't gentle. All those times of not being gentle. Oh, God, and it way outnumbered the ungentle things that had been done to me. And I could remember thinking the excuse was what was done to me. You're not kind. You're not gentle. And the last one that I processed while I was there was so terrible. You're not patient. Oh, Jesus has been so patient with me. Jesus has been so patient. Jesus has been so patient with me. Oh, God, you're not patient. It far outweighed all the impatient things that had happened to me. Far outweighed. And my body became this cancerous, disgusting, hurtful thing. Knowing. It could have all been avoided. I knew it. And filled with regret and fear and pain and twisting. It was horrible. And as that blackness would pass through me, I would scream. It hurt my ears to hear all the people screaming. Every single voice of pain stood out. And you could hear every single person crying eternally. And as you cried, you had to suck in that air. It was terrible. There is a word that Jesus called it. He called it wailing. It's not a sound you often hear on the earth, and you don't hear everybody doing it all at the same time. It was so upsetting, and amongst all the fear and that blackness passing through you, amongst all that fear, all I learned to do was to hate. And to hate more, and to hate more, and all the unkind things that had been done to me, and all the unkind things. I wanted an excuse, and I just became more and more and more filled with hate. It was terrible. Oh God. Oh God. And then more and more knowing came to me. And I knew my relatives were there. It's not like, oh yeah, you're related to Adam and Eve. It's not like that. I don't know who they were. I can't tell you who they are now, but when I was there, I knew they were there. And I have to tell you, on the earth, when somebody gets something, sometimes I've been really jealous that they got that. And I can think of one instance where when they got that and it broke, I was happy because I didn't want them to have that. And that's what it's like in hell. I was sick. Joyful is not the right word because joy is of God, but this twisted hatred that they were hurting. How could I be happy? How could I be happy? And then sins upon sins were coming to me. You see, when Jesus saved me, he cast my sin away from me. I think it's waiting there in hell. He separated it. He took it away from me. He put it in a place where he'll remember it no more. And he's not there in hell, so he's not remembering all that sin that's there. But when I got there, it knew I was there. It knew it was mine. And it came, and I had to begin to carry the weight of all this sin. And it hurt me, and it hurt me. It hurt me so much. It hurt me so much. I was so sick. And it kept speeding up. Hell kept speeding up. And I knew just up ahead, it was going to be the worst it could be. You kept thinking it can't get any worse. It can't get any worse. And every second that it got worse, it was so much worse. I saw stacks of sins around me. As all the sins that I had been forgiven kept coming back in me. Oh, each one had a weight, an eternal weight. Sin is evil, and it hurts. And if it's not hurting you here, it will hurt you there. Sin has a weight, and it really hurts. And if it's not hurting you here, it will hurt you there. And you can't play with it. You can't play with it. You don't want it. Flee from the sin. Jesus told us, just flee from the devil, flee from his ways. But I thought I could handle it. You know, all those little pet sins, all those ones that someday you'll get over. Oh God. I had no idea how big. I had no idea how much sin God had saved me from. I had no idea. And it just kept coming. And there were stacks of sins around me. Stacks of sins. Of things that I don't even know I've done. I never even processed those while I was there. We never even got to those. That's how much sin I had in my life. That's how much stuff I had allowed. And it just kept getting worse and worse. And I was screaming. sick, twisting, changing my physical shape to look like a demon. I was changing my shape to look like a demon. And as it was happening, all the things about me that I didn't never like. I don't like the shape of my nose. I don't like that my hair's so thin. I don't like that my fingernails aren't strong enough. Oh, God, what was I doing? Thinking all those things. As my body began changing into this grotesque thing, separated from God, I never appreciated my nose. Oh, to have the shape of a man. To have the shape of a man. It's a beautiful thing. Everything hurt. Everything hurt. Everything hurt. And it's eternal. And hell is eternal. And I knew I was in hell. And it was eternal because I wouldn't forgive. And there were other people there. My relatives, and then there was other people like me. Christians. They knew Jesus was who he said he was. And they believed he said what he meant, but they didn't believe it enough to change. They were just like me. They were just like me. They were just like me. And there was no hope. And there is no light. And the fire that I saw is not like a campfire. It's not red and yellow, and it's not that color. The thing that I saw, the flames that I saw were black. Everything there was black. Shades of black, deeper black, more black. And as the darkness passed through me, it forever killed through me. It forever killed anything that could remember any kind of beauty. And it just kept making me more and more like it. More and more like it. Hell. Eternal. Because I wouldn't forgive. God. There are people there. We can't do anything about that. We can't do anything about that. But how many of our family is going there? How many of your family is going there? How many of your family is going there? And you know what? We really don't care. The Bible says hell's getting bigger to hold all the people that are coming. And do we care? Oh, God. Oh, God. It was the mercy of Jesus that he took me out of there. It was his kindness. It was his gentleness. And it was just like when he saved me. It was just like when he saved me. But you know what? I didn't know that. I didn't know that the day that Jesus saved me, that's what he saved me from. I didn't know that. I didn't know that in that day. When I was celebrating, I'm free, I had no idea everything that he saved me from. And it was his mercy that picked me up and brought me back. It was his love that picked me up and brought me back. And if I had died in that vision, I would still be there. I would still be in hell. And it hurts to tell you this. It hurts to tell you about the punishment that was mine. But when I came back, oh, God, the first thing that happened, I was still in the back of the room. I just started screaming. That same noise started coming out of me. The room realized she's in trouble. And hell came back to the back. Fortunately for me, hell knows people who've been to hell. And I'm not special. I know 18 people who've been to hell. 18 people. Why is God taking so many people and showing them hell? Why? Could it be that we're running out of time? Could it be that we're running out of time? Hal came back to the back of the room, and I was in so much pain. The reality of where I was, I came back so fast in my body that I was shocked. I'm back there. I'm yelling. And Hal stops, and he starts praying for me. And he had people pray for me. And I had to begin to try and process, oh God. My first thought back, and I think it was a demon that was standing there saying this to me. Don't tell anybody you've been to hell. I think that was a demon. It may have been my own pride. But I don't want anybody to go there. I don't want anybody to go to hell. Then I had to start the process. Within 24 hours of having been back from hell, I had sores all up in my nose. My eyes were burnt like you flash them. If you've ever done that, I don't even know what it's called. Welding. You got to put that shield down so your eyes don't get burned. It was like that. My eyes were burned. I had styes all over my eyes. I was losing my eyelashes, sores up my nose. My body hurt as if there was no water in it. And the worst thing that I felt was not God. When I came back, I felt like there is no God in me. And the only thing I wanted to do was get as close as I could to the person next to me. And for 6 days, I was insane. Oh my God, I'm going to go back to hell. Oh my God, I'm going to go back to hell. I knew all the sins that I've done. I knew all the unforgiveness that I've held. I knew it. And all of these things had tied me to hell. And I had no idea how am I going to cut these things off. I need a sword. I need a sword of the Spirit to cut this stuff off of me. Help me, God. And for 6 days, I was so panicked. I had no idea what to do. And Hal's wife, Diane, is my dear friend. And so all the time when Mike was at work, she'd sit there and hold my hand and let me tell her again and again and again of all the pain and everything that's there and how real it is. And I needed somebody to tell me, you're not going to go back there. And she was so patient and so kind, telling me again and again, you're not going to go back there. You're not going to go back there. And the question in me, why did God send me there? Why did God send me there? Because it's where we belong without the blood of Christ. It's where we belong. And we got to start taking serious. I had to start taking serious this Christian life that I live. I needed help. I needed help. And on day 7, I woke up and something amazing happened to my mind, and all that pain that was in my mind and in my body. I really want you to understand, I had a surgery, woke up in a surgery. You're in pain when you wake up in a surgery. And they tried to put me back to sleep telling me, oh, Laurie, it's going to be okay. That pain was nothing compared to the pain my body felt because it didn't have any water in it. Having no God inside of you is extremely, excruciatingly painful. And the only way I could get it was from somebody else. But that was the thing I didn't want. All you people stay back. Because it's people who hurt me and gave me all this unforgiveness. All you people stay back. And I'll come so far. I'll be the one. I'll hug you first so that I'm in control of it. Because I need all of you to stay back. Because if you knew me, you hurt me. And I was a Christian doing this. And God was trying to help me. Laurie, if you don't get rid of this bitterness and unforgiveness, you can't be with me where I am. And so God sent me to hell because he loves me. He sent me to hell because he loves me. I had to wait for God to tell me that. I had to wait 30 months. Why did I have to wait 30 months? God knows. It was the right time. I don't doubt him now. His leadership is perfect. I don't doubt him now. I might not understand it. And when a demon's after me, I start to write down what I know. This is what I know. This is what I know. This is what I know. And I'm going to choose to believe what God has told me. And I'm going to trust God. And I'm going to trust the person that he put next to me, even if I don't know their side of the story yet. But it makes you look like a big baby having to say to somebody, I'm offended and I'm hurt because you did this. But I'll tell you what, I need to kill it now because I know hell is real. I know hell is real. I went to hell in 2008, August 28, 2008. And since then, very important people in my life have died. Oh, God, I don't know if they were saved. I don't know if they were saved. The thought that they might be there is overwhelming. And it's turned me into somebody. I want to be bold. I don't want to worry about what you guys think of me. I don't want to worry. I don't want to fear man. I want to have fear for the one who can cast your body and soul into hell. And I want to have that fear for somebody else. So the first thing that I worried about was me. Oh, God, I don't want to go back to hell. And in those 7 days that I kept saying to Mike, I'm going to go there, I'm going to go there. He kept saying, no, honey, you're not going to go back to hell. You're not going to go back to hell. And I'd say, Mike, you don't know. You're filled with it yourself. You're filled with it yourself. You don't like so-and-so because they did this, and you don't like so-and-so because they did this. So easily offended. I am so easily offended. And that offense turns into unforgiveness so quickly. And I have to battle it all the time. I'm not going to go to hell because I'm unkind, not gentle, not patient. But I will go to hell because of unforgiveness, because Jesus said that is not allowed there. Oh, I battle that in my life because I'm prone to it. I battle that in my life because I'm prone to it. First thing, I don't want to go to hell. I don't want to go to hell. Second thing, oh my God, I don't want my family. I have 2 beautiful daughters. I have a wonderful son-in-law. I have 5 grandbabies with 1 on the way. And I don't want any of them to go to hell. And you know the people who offended me the most, you guys? It was my family. Come on, it was my friends. It was the ones closest to me. I can forgive those guys out there who don't know anything. I can forgive the lost people because they don't know any better. But I hold a really high standard for the ones who are supposed to be my friends, my Christian brothers and sisters. And I think I can hold that. Oh, God, it leads to hell. Just the other day, I was at an outreach. They bring me a man, 77 years old. He wanted to tell me, I think you hallucinated. He was asking the group of people he was with. He's like, well, I don't believe that hell's real. Tell me one person who's been there. They said, she has. He comes over, sits down while I'm painting all these little faces. And all these little teenage faces get to hear my story of hell because I'm telling this gentleman. And he wanted to tell me some ground rules in starting out, that he thinks off the bat that it was a hallucination. And he doesn't believe that hell is real. And we can't stop. That guy, 77 years old, and I told him, you are so close to death. And if you die, you will not go to heaven. Friend, I'm not trying to be mean to you. But you need to understand, you don't have what you need to go to heaven. And so therefore, you will go to hell. I don't want that. He doesn't want that. The people around you don't want that. And Gary told the story last Sunday at church. That man gave his life to the Lord. But there are how many just like him that don't? Why? Because we don't talk about hell, right? Oh, that's mean. That's being mean. That's not loving somebody, telling them, oh, if you don't come to the saving knowledge of Jesus, you're going to go to hell. Let's just say Jesus loves you and you're allowed to stay in any kind of sin you want. Come on, church. They're going to really perish. They're really going to go to hell unless we do something. I can't let my family and friends go to hell, and so I set my family down. Please listen to me. But I have other family. They don't want to listen. Oh, God. They don't want to listen. They don't believe me. And they don't believe the Bible either. You don't have to believe me, but believe Jesus. I told him, I said, I'm leaving. He's like, well, so he's trying to plan a vacation. Little bit of money, no time. In a couple weeks, we're going to go. So I go to work, and I tell Hal, I quit. I'm his assistant. I said, I quit. Hal's like, you don't need to quit. You need a vacation. So I went to his boss. Tell Hal I quit. They said, you don't need to quit. You need a vacation. There is no vacation from hell. There is no vacation from hell. There is no rest there. There is no rest there. You can't get this out of your mind. There is no peace ever for all multitudes of people going to hell. And too many people are in hell. Too many people are in hell. The Lord came and talked to me. I was sitting in the backyard. He's so gentle, so kind, so patient. He told me, he said, Laurie, you can quit if you need to. It's actually if you want to. You can quit if you want to. I thought, thank you, God. He said, but there's no one to take your place. You can quit if you want to, but there's no one to take your place. And all of the people my life was supposed to touch won't touch it because there's no one to take my place. There aren't enough people telling other people about Jesus. I'm sorry, but if you need to own that, then you need to own that. There's not enough people telling other people about Jesus. And there's not enough people telling other people that hell is real. And there's not enough people helping other people get over their offense. Taking the low road. And multitudes are going to hell. Please. Please, God. Remind us. Come with the power of the Holy Spirit. I don't want to go to hell. I don't want to go to hell. I don't want my family to go to hell. And now, God, as we're doing this thing with you, we don't want anybody to go to hell. I want your heart. I want to be like you. We don't want anybody to go to hell. God doesn't want anybody to go to hell. He didn't create this place for you. Hell was created for Satan and his demons, not for something made in the image of God. How do I know you weren't created for hell? You carry an image of God. He wants you in heaven. He paid a high price. He knew you couldn't get there on your own. But he said, if you love me, obey me. Obey me. And I don't fully. But I'm trying harder and harder every day. And I want to live a life that shows other people the way. And I want to tell them the truth. Tell them the truth.